My best friend invited me to brunch so she could generously forgive me for failing her friendship test. She sat down, crossed her arms, and smugly asked if I had thought about my actions. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I just stood up, dropped a $5 bill on the table, and walked out of her life forever. I'm 23, and if there's one thing you need to know about me, it's that I absolutely hate inconveniencing people. I'm the kind of person who will struggle to carry 8 grocery bags in one trip just so I don't have to ask someone to open the door for me. But my close friend, let's call her Stella, was the exact opposite. Stella was 24, and she had this incredibly toxic, exhausting habit. She loved to test people. She would constantly manufacture little dramas just to see how her friends would react. She'd go quiet in a group setting and later say, "I just wanted to see if you'd notice I was upset." Or she'd purposely leave her wallet in the car to see if someone would offer to pay without her asking. It was exhausting. I had actually sat her down previously and told her point blank that I hated these games. I begged her to just communicate with me openly, like an adult. If something is bothering you, say it. If you need a favor, ask. But Stella viewed friendships like a scoreboard, and she was always the referee. 2 months prior to the incident, I was moving into a new apartment. Nothing crazy, just moving some small boxes from a storage unit. I planned to do it entirely alone because, again, I hate asking for help. But Stella insisted. She volunteered, showed up, and helped me move the boxes. I was super grateful, and as a thank you, I bought us a huge takeout dinner that night and told her how much I appreciated her. I thought that was the end of it, a normal interaction between friends. But in Stella's mind, the timer had just started ticking. Fast forward to last weekend. Stella, myself, and 2 other friends went out for a nice dinner. We were having a great time, laughing, sharing stories. But when the end of the night came, we asked the waiter for separate checks. When my receipt was handed to me, I glanced it over. And right there, clear as day, was a $15 cocktail that I definitely didn't order. It was Stella's drink. I looked over at her. She was already putting her credit card back into her purse, looking completely unbothered. Now, I'm a pretty non-confrontational person, and I didn't want to make things complicated for the poor waiter who was currently swamped with other tables. So I just swallowed my annoyance, paid the bill, and figured I'd casually bring it up to her outside. After dinner, we were all standing on the sidewalk saying our goodbyes. I pulled Stella aside and, in the most friendly, offhanded way possible, I said, "Hey, just letting you know, one of your drinks accidentally ended up on my check. I think the waiter just mixed it up." I expected her to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, let me Venmo you." Instead, her entire demeanor changed. The smile vanished from her face. Her eyes went cold. She just stared at me for a long, uncomfortable second and said, "Oh." That was it. Just, "Oh." She turned around and walked to her car. I stood there on the pavement completely baffled. I didn't know how to handle people when they were being deliberately standoffish, so I just let it slide and drove home. But the real kicker? That came 2 hours later, when my phone screen lit up on my nightstand. It was a text from Stella, and it was an essay. She told me that she felt I had been acting selfishly lately, and that she didn't feel appreciated in our friendship, despite her doing so much for me. Then came the confession. She said she had noticed the drink wasn't on her check. She purposely didn't say anything. She left it there as a test, to see if I would willingly cover it as a thank you for her helping me move into my apartment. 2 months ago. I sat up in bed, staring at the screen. My blood started to boil. I texted her back, trying to keep my cool. I reminded her that I didn't even ask her to help me move. She volunteered. And I reminded her that I explicitly thanked her and bought us dinner that exact same night. I typed, "If you wanted me to buy you a drink as a thank you, you could have just said so. Turning this into a secret test of my loyalty is manipulative." Her response was instant and dripping with entitlement.
It shouldn't have to fall on me to keep reminding you to show basic appreciation. I realized right then that this wasn't about a $15 drink. It was about power. It was about her needing to feel morally superior. She expected her friends to constantly pay off a debt that she secretly calculated in her head. We agreed to meet for brunch the next morning to talk it out. But as I finally went to sleep that night, I made a promise to myself. I was done taking her tests.
The next morning, I arrived at the cafe 15 minutes early. I ordered a black coffee and sat at a corner table, gathering my thoughts. I had a whole speech prepared. I was going to explain boundaries, healthy communication, and how friendships shouldn't be transactional. Then, Stella walked in. She didn't smile. She had this look on her face like a disappointed principal about to scold a misbehaving student. She pulled out the chair, sat down, crossed her arms, and let out a heavy sigh. Before I could even open my mouth to say good morning, she looked me dead in the eyes and started her monologue. "Well," she said, her voice dripping with condescension, "I really hope you spent the night thinking about your actions, because I need you to understand how hurtful it is when you don't value what I bring to this friendship." I just looked at her. I looked at her perfectly practiced posture of victimhood. I listened to the absolute arrogance in her voice. And in that exact second, something inside me just clicked. Why was I sitting here? Why was I preparing to defend my character to someone who actively sets traps for me to fall into? Any attempt at having a productive conversation was just going to be twisted until I was the villain. I didn't feel angry anymore. I just felt completely and utterly exhausted. Stella was still talking. And honestly, the fact that you even brought up the drink last night just shows how little you... I'm gonna stop you right there, I interrupted. My voice was surprisingly calm. She blinked, clearly thrown off script. "Excuse me?" "I'm done," I said. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I reached into my purse, pulled out a $5 bill, and placed it neatly next to my half-empty coffee cup. "What are you doing?" she asked, her smug expression finally cracking into genuine confusion. "I'm failing your test," I said, looking right at her. "And I'm going home." I stood up from the table. I didn't look back. I didn't wait for her response. I just walked out of the cafe, out the front door, and into the bright morning sun. The walk to my car felt amazing. It was like a physical weight had been lifted off my shoulders. By the time I turned the engine on, my phone was already buzzing. It was Stella, of course. First a text asking where I was going, then a text demanding I come back, then a paragraph calling me immature for walking away. I didn't read the whole thing. I just typed out one final message before hitting the block button. I wrote, "I am done participating in your little tests. I cannot be friends with someone who refuses to communicate like an adult. Please stop testing people." Literally. And that was it. Blocked on iMessage, blocked on Instagram, blocked on everything. Through mutual friends, I heard that she spent the next few weeks spinning this wild narrative about how I abandoned her at brunch over a simple misunderstanding. But the funny thing about people who constantly test their friends, eventually, they run out of people to test. Two of our mutual friends actually reached out to me a month later. They told me that Stella had started pulling the exact same stunts with them, and seeing me walk away gave them the clarity to realize how toxic it was. Do I regret ending a years-long friendship over a $15 drink? Not for a single second. Because it was never about the money. It was about the peace of mind that comes with knowing I never have to walk on eggshells again. And that is how a secret friendship test ended up costing her the entire friendship. Have you ever had a friend who constantly played mind games or tested your loyalty? How did you handle it? Let me know down in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more satisfying moments of justice. And if you're craving another story right now, click the video on your screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.